SOLIDFPS here, and in this video I'll be going over my RAFA leveling build in Borderlands 4. I picked RAFA because I'm always the kind of guy to play with a focus on range DPS, and RAFA's skill tree supports his playstyle extremely well. If you like guns and want to shoot your way through Borderlands 4, he's your guy. This video will cover the first 30 levels of decisions you'll make with his skill tree, and I'll also provide a few tips for weapons you'll want to look out for in your playthrough. With that said, let's get into it. Alright, so here is RAFA's skill tree. The first thing you want to do is go over to the red tree and click up here to equip peacebreaker cannons so that it goes into the slot on the left side of the screen. This skill is pretty straightforward. We hit the button and our shoulder cannons start blasting at whatever we're looking at. They last for a decent while and seem to auto aim for headshots a lot of the time, which gives them pretty good DPS. More importantly, when we use our peacebreaker cannons, we are putting RAFA in his overdrive state. This gives us more damage and movement speed for the full duration of peacebreaker's uptime, plus another 12 seconds after they end. As for our points, we're going to start off with deft hands for a nice 20% fire rate boost for both our guns and our peacebreaker cannons. With 5 points in this tree, we can equip our augment by clicking on it. This one is basically a free crit buff for our peacebreaker cannons. Treat this like a placeholder until you find a strong gun. Once you find a strong weapon, swap to this augment. The idea with this one is that you want to freeze your ammo count on guns with low mag size that do a lot of damage, but are limited by their reload speed, like a double-barreled shotgun, or even heavy weapons like the miniguns and rockets. When you have a gun like that, just activate peacebreaker cannons, then activate the augment again by pressing F, then start blasting. It's hilariously strong with a lot of different weapons, so feel free to experiment. After your augment, the next 5 points are going into CTR for 25% gun damage. Early on, we need every drop of damage that we can get. But when we hit endgame, we're going to respec and take away points from here to get access to stronger nodes in other parts of the skill tree. The next 3 points are going to El Valiente. This node gives us up to 60% damage if we're at full shields. Very strong node, especially if you're shooting stuff without being hit. Our last 2 for this section will go into this node for extra skill duration on crit. We won't really feel this too much early on, but it does become way more valuable once we reach the bottom of the red tree. The next 5 go into Vitriol for 55% bonus corrosive damage. This node is actually an insane burst damage gain since we can freeze our ammo count to the top of a mag. It also appears to be a multiplicative gain on top of all the damage we already do. Definitely look for a RAFA class mod that boosts this as high as it can go. Then, we're dropping the next 5 into concentrated buildup for 10% bonus shock damage at all times. This one gives us another 50% bonus shock if we hold ADS, which is great, but honestly with the pace of the game and how much is going on with the visuals, I hit fire through almost my entire playthrough, so I didn't get a whole lot of value out of that part. Once the beam team Capstone unlocks, equip it as soon as possible. This turns peacebreakers into constant aimbotting lasers that cook shields and armor and get stronger over time as you apply status effects. With beam team equipped, our next 3 points need to go into this node for cooldown and duration. This is where our action skill starts to feel much more impactful and can last for multiple activations of our augment. Then to finish off our leveling build, we need to max out this node for more action skill duration on crit. By the time you're here, you should be close to finishing the main story if you chose to focus on only main story quests in your playthrough. If you want a better way to see my skill tree along with the passives listed in order and any other notes I have, I put up this build on Mobalytics. I'll include a link down below in the description. This game has countless weapons, but there are a few types I highly recommend looking for that can scale very well with this build. Starting with the most broken boss burst damage weapon, look for any Jacob shotguns that have the spread launcher alt fire. This might be the most overtuned weapon to look for in this game if you want to one-shot bosses, or at least do an insane amount of burst to them. I would not be surprised if they decided to nerf these at some point as more people start using them. Combine that spread launcher with a rep kit that has amp. All you gotta do in a boss fight is buff yourself with the kit and then dunk on the boss with a spread launcher. We could take this a step further with a grenade that debuffs the boss, but I didn't need one during my campaign playthrough. Hey RJ, how about I fix your headache with this? This health bar is fucking gone in one shot. During the story, you should be able to find a lot of Vladoff guns with different alt fires. The best ones I've used were either shotguns or grenade launchers. Each one of these alt fire weapons has its own cooldown, so you could use 4 of them and swap between them as their cooldown recharges. They are very strong, so I highly recommend using them during the campaign. Another strong Vladoff underbarrel is the taser, which does a crazy amount of shock damage. Also keep an eye out for any well-rolled Vladoff SMGs or ARs with Torg parts that let it shoot explosive rounds. Very reliable DPS, especially when combined with my RAFA build. There's plenty of other weapons you could try, it all depends on how lucky you get. Like I said though, Definitely keep an eye out for the weapons with the alt-fires I mentioned, as they aren't too hard to get, and once you get a feel for them, you'll have a lot more success blasting your way through Borderlands 4 with RAFA. Alright, well that should cover all the major parts of RAFA's leveling build. I gotta get back to the grind, so I hope you enjoyed the quick build overview in this video and found it useful. If so, feel free to like and subscribe for future content. I'll be live on both Twitch and YouTube pretty much daily throughout Borderlands 4 launch, and we'll be pushing RAFA to the limits of the current endgame. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.